This is a story about me, famous explorer Hannah Edwards, on my trip to Costa Rica. That's me. Now let me tell you, I had absolutely no background knowledge on Costa Rica before going there. While I was on the airplane, I tried to figure out how I could learn about the culture. So once I landed, I decided to drop by the embassy in Costa Rica and see if an ambassador could give me a little bit of insight on the country. I sat down with the ambassador and he talked to me for over an hour about the demographics, culture, and the types of government they had in Costa Rica. I had learned that the predominant religion is Roman Catholic. It has a population of 4,579,000 people, and the most common language to speak there is Spanish. Costa Rica is also ranked as the best educated in Central America, with a literacy rate of 95%. My teacher then started talking to me about Hofstede's dimensions and said it would help me learn more about the culture if I knew where Costa Rica stood on the chart. He started drawing out all of these graphs and talked about things like power distance, collectivism, feminism, time orientation, and uncertainty avoidance. Costa Rica is found to be very low with power distance because they treat everyone as equals. Costa Ricans are famous for their good human rights records, as they are very much focused on equality and consensus. There is less distance between blue-collar and white-collar workers. Costa Rica is looked at as a collective society, so in Hofstede's dimensions, they are very much on the side of collectivism. In collectivistic countries, trust, loyalty, personal relations, and networking is essential. Family, and especially mothers in Costa Rica, is very sacred. Helping somebody out of a difficult situation will never be forgotten, as relationships matter very much. A lot of the time is spent on building up trust. Costa Rica is considered the most feminine society in Latin America, and only 8 countries in the world score more feminine. They are very afraid of any kind of personal criticism, together with their collectivist values. There is a very high acceptance for women in business. Costa Ricans are always looking out for the environment and are known as peacekeepers. With time orientation, Costa Rica is known for being long-term because of all the effort they put into things like education and the environment. Costa Rica keeps up its standard for having the most literate country in all of the Americas, and are known for their ecotourism. Costa Rica scores high on uncertainty avoidance. Formality and a strong emotional need for structure and rules are important, even if it's not always working or followed. Bureaucracy is very time-consuming in Costa Rica. Documentation, need for stamps, and written instructions are important. As the society is rather conservative, they do not always embrace strange and different ideas. After hearing all that, I thought I was finally free to go, but then he started with government. Costa Rica is proudly the oldest and most stable democracy in Central America. 39 years after Costa Rica's declaration of peace with the world, the beloved leader of this peace-loving country, President Oscar Arias Sanchez, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. President Arias' efforts in promoting his peace with nature policy has inspired many Costa Ricans who enjoy living with more trees per capita and per square kilometer than any other country in the world. Costa Ricans are also among the world's most enthusiastic tree planters, enriching their landscapes with a few million trees each year. He then went on to talk about ecotourism. I had no clue what that even meant, so he went into full detail to try to explain it to me. He said, "It's tourism in exotic, often threatened natural environments, especially to support conservation efforts and observe wildlife. The idea behind ecotourism is to preserve a nation's natural resources while profiting from them. However, in this quest for profits, some nations, including Costa Rica, have allowed their ecotourism industry to become ecologically damaging. This happens by allowing unlimited number of tourists into protected areas and encouraging the construction of high-rise hotels and resorts over small-scale tourism development. At this point, I thought I was a genius." I totally knew everything about Costa Rica, and I just wanted to get out and explore the land. Before I left, he told me to go check out some of Costa Rica's national parks because they have some of the nicest ones in the whole world. As I ventured off, I decided to check out a park called Corcovado. Corcovado National Park is the most famous one in all of Costa Rica and is over 103,290 acres of tropical rainforest. It encompasses about a third of the Osa Peninsula and has an unbelievable amount of biodiversity. Corcovado Park also has 10% of mammals found in all the Americas. They have animals like raccoons, pigs, dolphins, bats, wolves, and squirrels. Along with some of the lazier animals like a sloth. Corcovado is also believed to have the largest concentration of macaws and virgin lowland rainforest in Central America. Also, it is one of the very few locations in Costa Rica that harbor the endangered squirrel monkey. I thought the park was really cool, and I could see that the government was trying to preserve their ecosystem because they had limits set for the park. The Costa Rican government is trying to save the park from the perils of its own success. It has capped the number of daily visitors at 600 people, 800 on the weekends and holidays though. The park is also closed on Mondays to give the animals a breather from all the excitement of people being there. I thought that the government was being accommodative on the park side. I had a friend who had just returned from a trade mission here in Costa Rica, and they had done business with Intel, so I had decided to look into the corporation as well. My friend had told me all about how great of a company Intel was, and how they are super proactive and environmentally friendly. Costa Rica could not have held up its high reputation of such an ecotourism country without the help of proactive multinational enterprises. Intel, for those of you who don't know, is an American multinational semiconductor chipmaker corporation headquartered in Santa Clara, California. Intel is a semiconductor chipmaker based on revenue. It is the inventor of the x86 series of microprocessors, the processors found in most personal computers. When I dropped by Intel, I had sat down with the manager of the company and had interviewed him. I wanted to know what kind of work Intel was doing in Costa Rica and how they were helping out the ecosystem. The manager, Alberto Gonzalez, told me all about what his company was trying to achieve in Costa Rica. He started off by saying, beyond its obvious direct effects on the country's economy in terms of gross domestic product, foreign direct investment, and trade growth, Intel's investment decision was a promoter for a realignment of Costa Rica's competitive platform as an investment location. Costa Rica worked resourcefully and with a sense of urgency to enhance the country's technical education, incentive laws, regulation, and infrastructure. Over time, the effects could be seen in an improved investment climate, a more focused strategic approach to investment promotion, a developing technology cluster, and newly secured foreign direct investment project in other targeted sectors. The Intel investment also reached far into the local community, affecting education and the country's knowledge base, workplace standards, and business culture. Intel served as an important motivation for changes in the way government worked with investors. It was the first time in Costa Rica that a president assumed a proactive role in foreign direct investment promotion and personal involvement with investors. President Figueres attended progress meetings related to the establishment of Intel. The president's focus on foreign direct investment and leadership is serving the needs of investors, set the tone of a high-level national priority throughout the government and public institutions, and fostered a new sense of urgency in government officials. In meeting commitments made to Intel, Costa Ricans exhibited a growing confidence that their small country could compete for foreign direct investment on a worldwide basis, applying world-class methods inspired by multinational corporations such as Intel and Baxter. This promoted learning in Costa Rica and created a rise in the number of citizens attending university for computer-related schooling. Intel has been proactive in helping to preserve the natural environment. In Costa Rica, it created the group Industrial Friends to the Environment and several environmental awareness programs. Intel supported community environmental projects, recycling programs in the community and schools, and launched the project Save Our Planet. For example, 21 Intel volunteers joined Bellin School students to celebrate Earth Day and reflect on the importance of even small efforts to improve the environment, and also advised teachers from several county educational centers on recycling efforts. Intel has been a proud supporter of Costa Rica's ecotourism and keeping the country as environmentally friendly as possible. Before I left, I thanked Alberto for having the interview with me and telling me all about the ways in which they are proactive as a company. The last thing I wanted to check out before I left the gorgeous country were non-profit organizations that I could learn about and maybe donate some extra colognes to. For those of you who don't know, colognes are the currency used in Costa Rica. I came across an organization called ATEC. Now, ATEC is Puerto Viejo's original ecotourism provider. They work to help visitors find fun, ecologically and socially responsible activities to entertain themselves while in Talamanco, Limon, and Costa Rica. Founded back in 1989, ATEC funded the training a group of about 20 guides. Now, from their website and the little office in Puerto Viejo, they have ATEC represent over 100 fabulous local guides. It is a future goal of theirs to become the largest non-profit organization in Costa Rica and to maintain the great ecotourism that the country has today. ATEC is a self-sustaining non-profit association that supports itself, its guides, and its effort through the support of donations. At the end of the day, I felt that it was a pretty cool organization and thought it was amazing that it sustained itself over 24 years with only donations. That in itself proved to me that it was worthy of donating to. At this point in my trip, I had been in Costa Rica for 3 days learning much about ecotourism and how well the country could maintain such a beautiful ecosystem. I had a lot of fun there and could see why it's such a popular traveling destination. I believe that Costa Rica is doing a fantastic job on promoting and preserving their land, and I really do hope to see them thrive in the future. Thanks for listening to my adventure. Bye for now.